Hello and welcome to Outlook On Air. This podcast is designed to keep you connected with all things Outlook, with special emphasis on our enrichment program and its many activities and services. On this podcast, we'll hear from Outlook Associates, donors to our many programs, clients of our services, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of Outlook On Air. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Outlook On Air from the Palatial Podcast Studios here at Outlook Enrichment. Just a quick note here before we get started with today's podcast. I wanted to pass along some really good news that a lot of you have been waiting for a long time. As of now, our podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, which means that you can now ask your phone or smart speaker to play Outlook On Air or play the Outlook On Air podcast, and it should respond. I know a lot of you have been wanting to do that with your smart speakers, and now you can. Just say play the Outlook On Air podcast. And you might also want to know that we are available on YouTube as well. And you should be good to go, so I wanted to pass that along before we get going with today's podcast. But let's do that without further delay. I'm your host, Dennis Nelson, another jam-packed Outlook On Air to present you with today. You always think, are we ever going to run out of ideas? Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime in the future. And today we're going to start out by meeting the Associates of the Year for 2025 here at Outlook Nebraska. And that should be pretty exciting in and of itself. So let's get that started right away. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us your role at Outlook?
I am Morie Dinovo, and I'm the converting facilitator on first shift. I've been here since 2014, and I have worked third shift for a while. That was interesting.
What brought you to the organization?
Well, I worked for a label company for 28 years, and that company was getting ready to close up. And Ross and Stevie Ray actually worked for them previously, and they contacted me and said that Outlook was looking for somebody to step up and take over a supervisor position on the floor, and asked if I'd be interested. And I said, absolutely. I was nervous as heck, that's for sure. 28 years at one place, and I was running the shipping department, so it was scary. But I knew I had to do something because the doors were going to be closing there. So I came aboard, and it was the best decision I ever made.
And now you're the Associate of the Year. What does that mean to you?
Oh, my gosh. That is just incredible. I come here every day and I work with amazing people. Everybody cares about everybody, and I love watching our company grow. I appreciate that they feel that way about me, that I was selected for that. I'm not much into the whole award thing, and I'm not big on that. I like more giving pride to people, that kind of thing to people instead of getting it. I'm real bad about that. I'm one of them people that like to fix people instead of fixing myself, or help people and do good with others instead of I need to take care of myself more often. But Associate of the Year is exciting.
Absolutely.
It's an honor.
That's great. That's fantastic. Couldn't happen to a nicer person, in my humble opinion.
Well, thank you.
As a manager, how do you approach leading a team which includes individuals who are blind or visually impaired?
We do it together, Dennis. First, I ask what I can do to make it easier for them. Productive-wise, figure it out. There might be different stands or just different tools that, different people need that just don't work for one person or another, the way they pack or the way they run a machine. So just making sure that they're comfortable and they have what they need to do the job productively.
Mm-hmm. Anything working with these folks that has changed your perspective or leadership style?
I would say just so much love and respect, really. I mean, I've developed so many special relationships with everybody out there, honestly. I've worked with some rough relationships. There's been some rough people out there that, just they've had a hard time, and they've had a hard time adjusting and just trying to make them happy and make them, feel good about what they're doing. And that's, some of it's been heartbreaking. Some people don't have anybody to fall back on, and I've always been there to try to help them out as much as I can. But I wouldn't do it any other way. I try to do as much as I can for everybody out there. So it's made my heart a lot bigger.
That's absolutely awesome. Now, this would kind of go along with that. Do you have a particular story or moment that you have experienced here at Outlook that really sticks with you?
Like when I first started and I cried for the first 2 weeks. Ross used to make me cry all the time. We used to have to do a lot of number thing at the end of the shift. We don't do any of that anymore, but we had to calculate all the numbers up, and I'm terrible at math.
Oh, sure.
And so Ross would sit down with me at the end of our shift, and he'd go over it with me, and next thing you know, I'd just be in tears because I'm just I'm never going to get this. And he's like, yes, you will. You'll be fine. You'll get it. Well, then sooner or later, we ended up not doing it anymore. So all those blood, sweat, and tears were for nothing. But yeah, it was overwhelming because, like I said, for 28 years, I was running a whole department, and I was the go-to person all the time. So then when I came here, it was new machines and just overwhelming. And Willie was our boss at the time, and he's just like, okay, you're going to do this, and you're going to fix this, and you're going to take this tool. I'm like, you don't understand. I can maybe turn a wrench and pound a hammer, but I don't know tools. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this stuff. But I've picked it all up, and it's funny because, just noises. You can hear just machines, the way they run. You can hear the noise that something's not right.
Yeah, so you know right away that something has gone wrong immediately then. Yeah.
When you first come out, there's so much noise and everything just is loud. But now you hear something, it's like, that doesn't sound right. So that was I will never forget that, just coming out here thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Well, I think you've done a whole lot since you've been here, that's for sure.
It's been good.
What motivates you each day when you come to work?
Well, of course, my paycheck. Gotta have that. Gotta have money. Yeah. I like to shop, and I have grandkids, and they like to shop too. But just being with a group of people who want to be at work, and just having them come in and be around people too, and feeling good about what they do and being successful and being here for our mission. That motivates me, just coming in and being with people that want to be here too.
Certainly makes it easier.
Yeah, it does.
What does inclusive leadership mean to you, and how do you practice it?
I'd say collaboration, building, adapting, being diverse with ideas that will make everyone feel involved, part of the team, making a difference in our mission. I respect everyone's contribution. I know some of their limits and what they can do and can't do. And so we have to work through it daily with everybody, just so they're comfortable and they can do their job successfully and not feel pressured, and we can get our work done.
And how has Outlook helped shape your approach to management?
It's really made me appreciate everything that I have. I've learned a lot from my managers, Ross and Brad. They're just amazing, amazing people, amazing bosses. I've never had bosses like that before in my life. They care a lot and have made so many changes out there on that floor that it's just incredible. And coworkers every day, I thank God for just what I got. You
talked about the mission a little earlier. What does Outlook's mission mean to you personally?
Our mission is kind of a reminder of why I do what I do, I guess. Every day it gives me direction to improve myself, to help everybody else improve, to help the mission with everyone that I work with. Keep everybody going.
And what would you say to someone who's maybe thinking about joining the Outlook team or participating with any of our programs here?
Don't think twice about it. I've had a lot of people that have come in to do like job, what do you call it? Like a job study? Is that what it? No, that isn't the word I want. You know, where they come in and they'll come in and do work for a couple hours just to see if they can do it. And I'm constantly trying to make it easy for them, because
like a work study program.
Because they'll have different disabilities. It could be like one arm doesn't work right, or they can't stand for too long of time, or so you just want to kind of make it easiest for them so they could do the job if they really want to. And it's a great place. We have great people, and it just makes me happy to see people come and be able to associate with everybody, and they do great things for us. Oh my gosh, there's not too many companies anymore that do the things that Outlook does for us and helps them achieve their goals and their dreams that they want to do. Yeah, it's a great place to come.
Speaking of hopes and dreams and things like that, what are your hopes for the future, either personally, professionally, or for Outlook as a whole?
Physically, like I want to be able to get out of bed in the morning. It doesn't take me 20 minutes to get up. Just, I want to continue to be here till I retire and grow old with these people. There's a few of us that we're just hitting the 60 mark this year. So it's getting close, but I'm blessed to have the friends that I have here, and they've got me through a lot, and I've gotten them through a lot, and just plan on continuing to help them do the same and watch this place grow. It's grown a lot already. It's just crazy how much since I've been here.
It really has changed a lot even since I've been here, and you've been here a lot longer than me, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say and share with our listeners that maybe I didn't cover, or, any final thoughts that you have?
I think we pretty much covered everything as far as what I got. Outlook's a great place. I can't talk. It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing here, Dennis.
It is.
It
is.
You love it.
I do.
You even come back after you're retired.
I keep going away and showing up. Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of people that have done that.
Yeah.
That have left and come back.
Mm-hmm. But it's a wonderful place, like you say. So many things are done while you're here, and while you can enjoy everything Outlook has to offer. Why not take advantage of it?
And there's so many caring people.
Yeah.
And you can reach out to so many people for different things, and just to grow and to learn. And there's so many things I've learned just mechanically, and that I never thought I'd be able to do.
Yeah, it sounds like you had if we go back to the beginning of this interview, it sounds like you had a real growing experience here for sure on your own.
Yeah, just the machinery and stuff, learning how to do different things that I never thought I'd be able to do. But
well, fantastic. You're certainly doing it now and doing a great job of it.
Well, thanks, Dennis.
And I really appreciate you taking time out of what I know is a very busy day for you to come by and talk with us for a few minutes and share some of your thoughts and feelings about Outlook. And we're so glad and privileged to have you as an employee here.
Well, I appreciate that.
Keeping you informed with all things Outlook on air.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what your role is here at Outlook.
I'm Mortel Crawford. My role at Outlook is finisher 3, but they can put me wherever they need me at.
Now, what does a finisher 3 do? What does that mean?
It means I can run the wrappers, the palletizer. I can work with the taper as well. I do a bit of everything with packing or stacking or quality watch.
So you're kind of a jack of all trades to a certain degree.
Except for the forklift, yeah, I'm still trying to get that.
How long have you been with Outlook, and what brought you to the organization? What brought you here?
About 5 years. Been working here for 5 years now. Well, what brought me here is I heard about it through another warehouse job I used to work. It was a unit source warehouse job, and that's where I met another employee here, Alex. And, he was telling me that about the job, how good it was, and I've been trying to get here ever since.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you, that's for sure. What does it mean to you to be named Associate of the Year? That had to be a moment for you.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting it. I was very excited to become the Employee of the Year. So it's another thing I wanted to share with my family with going to the National Convention of the Blind. So it'll be my first time on the plane. Still a little nervous about it, but I'm gonna have my fingers crossed the whole time.
Oh, I've talked to other people who've gone on those trips, and they have a ball, so I think you will as well. You'll have a lot of fun, as I understand it.
Yeah, Alex told me it was fun.
Well, that is fantastic. When do you guys take your trip? When do you go?
I think it's gonna be next year, sometime next year. We're gonna be taking it next year. I don't know when they gonna set the date for the convention or what yet, but we'll have 2 sets of Employee of the Years going for this year. Next year.
Next year. Okay. Well, that sounds... I think you're going to have a great time. I'm sure you'll have a good time there.
Yeah. Well, I had fun, and I had a great time at the state convention, so I just imagine the national convention going to be like 10 times better.
Well, you'll have to come back and tell us all about it after you've done it.
Yes.
So you have a background as a chef, I understand.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that journey and how those skills carry over into your work here at Outlook?
I went through culinary art school and got my associate's degree in culinary arts. I started working at Big Mama's Kitchen. Through the pandemic, they had laid people off. So I was off for a while. And then I had finally got a call from Outlook, and it was like a temporary position that I could be hired permanently. So it was something like that, and I worked 3 months, 4 months, probably like 4 or 5 months before I think I got hired permanently after a year, I believe. When I first started, I was on first shift. So the temporary position was the first shift. So I was working, I think we came at 8, be on the floor by 8. I switched from that schedule to the 3 to 11 schedule, because that was the full time, not a temporary position no more. And since then, I've been just getting better at packing, getting faster. I should say improvement. I've been improving in my tasks at the job. So I've been kind of getting a little better, getting faster at packing, stacking. Still have problems with the taper. I don't know, but sometimes I'll be able to fix it without asking for help. You know, so it's when it's too much tape coming down, yeah.
Then I got to hold up a little bit.
Yeah, I got to shut the line off for a second just to get it read right.
Is that
Make sure the tape, the blade is cutting the tape.
Sure.
You know, because sometimes the box go through and the tape still be stuck to the box. Like, dang.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's one of your biggest challenges of working here at Outlook? Would you call that one of your biggest challenges, is trying to stay ahead of all that?
I would say my biggest challenge would be the KRTs on the Highlander. That would probably be my biggest challenge because they come so fast, like you barely can keep up with the machine. But that was the hardest thing. But I did start packing new product that I haven't packed before. So that was also fun.
Mm-hmm. So how has Outlook supported your professional as well as your personal growth here?
They helped me feel more confident and to be able to do more, if that makes sense. Like try different things, try to work on this side of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Try to pack or stack this product I never stacked before. So they give me different things to challenge myself, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah. Building up your confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
And with my personal goals, I had some of the employees, they asked me, they wanted me to make them some dessert cakes. I made Alex a Snicker cake, or his brother a Snicker cake, his mom a Snicker cake. I think I made Troy a caramel apple pie before. It was either Troy or Dustin, one of them. I think both. I think Dustin got one too. It's been a while though.
I was going to ask you what some of the things were that you like to cook. I guess you've named a few, but are there any favorites that you have that you actually like to cook?
Yeah, I like chicken broccoli Alfredo lasagna. That's one of my favorite dishes.
You're making me hungry, you know this. And I don't think you brought me anything today, at least, so.
Yeah, we made that. And we had the great commencement meal, too. That was it Friday? I think it was Friday. We had a commencement, well, I don't know if they call it a commencement meal, but where the job, pay for lunch or do lunch for everybody, when we had the burgers, hot dogs, the brats, and potato salad, and snacks, and tea this time. They had tea for us this time instead of soda pop.
Hey, that's nice.
So, yeah,
nice little twist.
Yeah, it was delicious. Everything was great.
Now, they provided that, or did you do some of the cooking for that?
They provided it for everybody.
Ah.
So everybody got to relax, and we got an hour break for lunch and chilled, and we had a good time before we got finished the day.
Sounds like it. That was a blast for you.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who's blind or visually impaired, and maybe they're looking to, re-enter the workforce?
Well, I would tell them Outlook is a great spot to start at. Don't give up, no matter how many interviews you go through, because some people will not hire you, but some people is open to it too. So just don't give up and keep putting in applications.
Keep plugging away.
Yeah, that's one thing I had to tell my son. Like, son, you're not gonna get the first application job. You put in the application, you're not gonna automatically get hired. You're gonna have to put in application after application. It's not gonna be right off the bat, So he getting used to it, but I think he's on the verge of getting his first job.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. I remember those days, even myself, getting that first job.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that you wish more people understood more about working in manufacturing with a visual impairment?
I guess it helps build confidence there too. It's just like when I was in wood shop class. Like I was nervous about it because it was dangerous. Every tool around is dangerous, just like in the warehouse. Forklifts driving around is dangerous, but you know they got the walk paths for us, and in the workshop class they had the click ruler, but it helped build our confidence to be able to. Well, I first used to get lost in this big warehouse. So, you know, I get over here, anybody can y'all see where I'm at? You know, but once you get used to it, you barely, you know, get turned around unless, you know, something is switched around. Maybe they got one of the walk path rails up and you kind of misplace a step or something like that. But it helps us not let's see, get nervous when we get, you know, and lost or something. Help us like stay calm and try to find our way calmly. Because if you panic and stuff, it makes it worse.
Sure.
You probably get lost further. You know?
Makes sense. Yeah, just take one step at a time and do it carefully.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, actually.
And then there's a lot of noise too in the warehouse too,
Yes.
especially when all the machines is going.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to hear when you got the radio in your ear, the machine beeping over on this side. Yeah, your employee across there, you try to ask you stuff like, hold on, what'd you say?
Yeah, really? Yeah. No, I can understand that. If you could describe your experience at Outlook in one word or phrase, what would that be?
One word or phrase, I would say exciting. Awesome. I like it because it's like I'm going to say, no, let me switch that up. I'm going to say workout. That's our job. It's like a workout. It's constant motion, you know. It's like a aerobics class. You know, you got
Yeah. But I'm sure it's some of those other things that you mentioned as well, like exciting and
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I like the stack. I like packing. You know, I got to make sure I let other people get rows sometimes because I pack. You know, I get so, slow down. Yeah.
So what does Outlook's mission mean to you personally, Mortel?
Personally, the mission is to show the blind community that they can still live life, you know, and normal. And work like everybody else, go to work and basically take care of your family like any normal people can, you know.
Sure.
Instead of just sitting at home and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I think that's a good answer, actually. What would you say to someone who's thinking about joining the Outlook team or participating in its many programs?
They just be expected to have a lot of fun when you go to the programs, you know. Sometimes we do programs, and sometimes we meet up on our own to do stuff as well. Kind of like we all met up and did the mechanical bull one time. That was fun. And then we had the ag storm. Oh man, the ag storm was fun.
Like that one, huh?
I took my son to the beat baseball, and we had the tree lodge adventures. Oh man, yeah, it was a few of them that I missed out on, but I would say that just be prepared to have a good time.
Well, that's good to hear. That's what they always try to do when they set up those events. They want us to have a good time. What are your hopes for the future, either personally, professionally, or for Outlook as a whole? So, you know, is there any particular hopes that you have, either personally or professionally?
Well, personally, I think everything is pretty good. Personally, I think the growth will keep continuing to grow. I already hearing through the meetings how much more we're adding to the job as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all great ideas, and giving more opportunities. I think it'd be great because it gives more opportunities for everyone to get involved or get active, because most people just work and go home, and it gets us out the house.
Yeah, and Outlook gives you a chance to do some other things besides just work as well.
Yeah, like arts and crafts.
Yeah.
I like the computer, tech too, because you can learn things around on electronics now. They have a person to teach you about computers and help you out, learn a new app, or which I'm going to be learning a better how to maneuver around green shades. So I got that set up.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, our training department is very, very helpful with things like that, and that's where I used to work before I started doing all these podcast things.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to work over there, and if things were still the way they were, I might have gotten to work with you directly on some of that. But they have a full staff over there that takes good care of folks. But you're right. I think you're right. I think, all those different things with all the activities, and then, like you say, the training and other things. There's plenty of things to keep you busy right here.
Yeah. And we also got the CrossFit training class, so they try to keep you fit. They say you got to stay fit.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, stay active if nothing else.
Yes,
too.
yes.
That's always important.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners before I let you go? Anything else you can think of, or anything you want to say before we let you go here?
Well, it was great doing the podcast with you, and I'm excited for being Mr. Outlook 2024.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. I'm proud of you, too, and congratulations to you for becoming one of the employees of the year. That is just really cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're more than welcome. And again, Mortel, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciated having you today.
Likewise. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Your source for all things Outlook. Outlook on Air.
We got some really nice feedback from a lot of folks who listened to the July podcast. That was the one that featured my career path and all that kind of thing. Mickey writes, I really enjoy listening to the podcasts. I especially enjoyed the one where you shared your life story. Well, I appreciate that, Mickey. Thank you very much for letting us know that you're enjoying the podcast. That means a lot to us. Janine writes, and she wants to know how I handled recording commercials. I talked about that at some length in the podcast, but I didn't have a chance to cover everything, so we'll try one more time real quickly here. I used to bring a Perkins Braille writer and a little micro cassette recorder into the production studio with me, and I always kept the micro cassette recorder in my in basket where commercials would come. This was in the early days of my broadcasting career, and what used to happen is different employees would read the commercial copy to me. It was all in print, and I obviously didn't have good ways of getting that read, so they would read it to me on the little micro cassette recorder. I would come in early and braille that material. So that's how that got handled, and then I would obviously go in and produce the commercials. So that's how that was done in the early days, and then later on, when email came into vogue, if you will, I was able to just have emails of the copy sent to me, and then I could braille them or use a braille display or any number of things at that point. So it got a lot easier in my later years. So I hope that covers that a little more in detail, if you will. And Todd writes, is there any chance that we can actually hear you play songs on the last radio station that you worked at? That's true. When I did show you the sample, it was just me pretty much saying goodbye on the actual podcast, but I thought that was appropriate for that particular podcast. Well, Outlook has donated a lot of time and space, if you will, to my doing, talking about myself and all that kind of thing. So I think it would be a bit self-serving, and we probably won't have time in our schedule to include any more actual air checks and that kind of thing of me actually playing music. But if you still want to hear me, you didn't get enough in the air checks and so forth that I showed on the July podcast, there actually is a phone number that you can call, and you can hear old things. Now, the phone number does give you the option at one point of pressing something. I think it's the number 4 to leave a message. I would urge you not to do that. That line is not checked anymore, and heaven only knows when I would get around to possibly checking it. So if you call this hotline, please don't leave a message on it, even though that is an option to do, because like I say, I just have no idea when it would ever be received. You're better off contacting us here at Outlook if you're interested in any kind of feedback and that sort of thing. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the phone number that you can call. It's a little complicated because there's an extension number involved and that sort of thing. But I will give it to you slowly, and you can use that and hear a number of other samples of the things that I've done. There's a number of selections up there. They're all dated, of course, but you can listen to them if you'd like. The phone number is area code 641-715-3800. That's 641-715-3800. And when that answers, you'll be greeted by an assistant that asks you for an extension. The extension number is 254646, followed by the pound sign. That extension number again is 254646 pound. Not quite as convenient as hearing it on a podcast, but I really don't think that Outlook will be giving me any more time very soon for doing live air checks and that sort of thing. But that is another way that you can hear things that I've done in the past, including a lot of commercials that I did and all kinds of other stuff. You'll have fun playing with the phone line if you choose to do that. And appreciate all the feedback. And again, to anybody who's enjoying the podcast, thanks for letting us know. We always appreciate that as well. To conclude today's podcast, we have an interview with Ross Pollpeter, who is our enrichment program facilitator, and he brings a guest along with him as well, Tim Green. Now, they are both participants, obviously, in the support group that Outlook has here, and they're going to talk about that. And we're going to start with you, Ross, if you can describe the Outlook support group. What is it? And if I show up, what can I look forward to?
The Vision Loss Support Group is it's an opportunity for blind and low vision clients to get together and share about their experiences, share about what's going on in their lives or in their career, and to just kind of vent a little bit, whether it's about their vision loss or what else, other things going on in their life. It doesn't always have to be about their blindness. It's a pretty informal meeting. I will be honest to say, sometimes we come in with certain topics. Sometimes, we base it around what somebody mentions when they do their check-ins. The check-ins are just people share, hey, this is what's going on with me. This is what's happened since the last meeting. Good things, bad things, and sometimes we'll have discussions based around that. Currently, we meet 2 times a week through Zoom, and then once a month, we do an in-person support group here at Outlook. And then we also have a women's-only support group that's run by one of our staff members, Megan Mackey.
Ah, okay. And how has the group evolved over time, if you can think back to maybe some of the early ones? How long have you been doing this?
Well, I took over the hosting of the Vision Loss Support Group when I started here at Outlook back in fall of 2023. But I've had experience doing this working for other blindness agencies. This is actually pretty common for agencies to have, groups and meetings like this. Now, they may not necessarily call it a support group, but they are, classes or seminars or meetings, whatever you may call it, where they discuss blindness, have a chance for people to network with each other and, share their experiences and discuss what it means to be blind, what it means to lose your vision, and how do you overcome, those feelings and the obstacles that it may arise from in your journey through blindness.
Sure, makes sense. Why do you think that peer support is so important for people that are facing vision loss?
When I was growing up, I'm visually impaired myself. I have retinitis pigmentosa, so I've been losing my vision pretty much my whole life. But I really started to notice it when I was a teenager. And I grew up in a small town, and felt like I was the only blind person in that town. And then when I went to college at University of Iowa, I felt like I was the only blind person on campus. When a person's losing their vision, sometimes they feel very isolated. They feel like they're the only person in their town, or they're only blind person in their neighborhood, I should say, or their church, or their workplace. They feel isolated, like they're the strange one, the weird one. And the peer support group is great because it allows for us to network with each other. We get to share, we get to see, where others are in their journey. And so we can kind of use that to say, well, that person's doing that, I can do that too. Or if the person's farther along in the journey, they can kind of look back at others who are just new to the journey, and they can say, that's where I used to be. And they can see their progress from there.
Great way to feed off of one another, in other words. Yeah, sounds good, actually. Speaking of things like that, have you ever seen discussions or had discussions where something really clicked for someone, all of a sudden it all makes sense?
No.
No?
Okay, hold on. I've been racking my brain on that one. Tim, have you got any ideas? But
Yeah, well, I didn't realize how expensive it was to rideshare. And I remember getting woken up and practically slapped in the face when Julia was talking about paying $700 just to get to her job every month, because I had always had transportation, even when I was working. I had a guy that worked with me that came by and picked me up every day, and he took me home every day. So that was a big wake-up call for me. That was one of the things that when we were in the discussions that just surprised me how much the rideshare was, because I had no idea how much it cost.
I think one of the things that sometimes we see click, so to speak, is, you have a person say, hey, this is how I do this. And then you get like 2 or 3 other people like, I never thought of that. They kind of, we get a chance to learn from each other. Not everybody who comes to support group are working with an instructor of some type on learning blindness skills. So, sometimes they're just trying to figure this out on their own, and they get a chance to, I never thought of that. I love that. When you hear that, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try that. When they get that like aha moment, and that happens too. The aha moment, for me, that was a different experience. But the aha moment is when a person kind of like, oh, maybe I should consider training. And that sometimes comes up in conversation too during other things. And that's what I like hearing that, because as a person who has gone through this journey and has sought out training, it's one of those things where when a person kind of makes that, maybe training would help, whether it's adaptive tech or Braille, cane travel, whatever it might be, they may like, oh wow, maybe I should consider that, because so many people are so hesitant about that. And we've seen several of our clients who come to support group kind of get that, where that clicks for them.
How do you create a safe and welcoming space for individuals to share, such personal information and experiences that they probably do in these support groups, I would imagine.
I usually make fun of him.
Yeah. He does.
He does. No,
Yeah.
I do. I mean, no. Well, okay. One, I keep it pretty informal.
And you lighten it up.
I try to lighten up. I think I'm funny. And so I try to make jokes and try to make people laugh. I want people to have a positive experience when it comes to support group. And it's the same way I handle when I train people too. I try to keep it light. I try to keep it just, very informal. And, I don't want people coming to a stuffy meeting where they think they're going into like a board meeting or, coming into a, I don't want a committee meeting or something like that. They're coming to network with others and share.
Right.
So I do it by saying, hey, when they first come to a meeting, you can share as much as you want or as little as you want. If you just want to listen for a little while before you join in, that's fine. Like I said, I keep things very light and just try to make it fun as much as possible, because if a person, they may come into support group meeting frustrated or emotional, and I'm hoping that they're leaving with, feeling a little bit lighter, like a load's been taken off their shoulders.
Or even they're leaving with maybe a solution or an answer to why they're upset.
Or what their particular issue is. Yeah, is it being answered?
Yeah.
I would think that would be important.
Yeah.
What are some of the most meaningful outcomes that you've had from support group? Things that have maybe stuck with you after the meetings? Have you had anything like that? We've
had a number of clients who've kind of, set out challenges for themselves during support group. Yeah. We've had people say, I was going to take a Lyft. This is a recent example. I was going to take a Lyft and Uber. But I got a little hesitant. I ended up getting a ride from a family member. But now, just last night, we had a person come to support group and said, hey, I did this over the weekend. I took a Lyft 2 times, all on my own. Because they kind of worked through that hesitation, that, holding themselves back. And that's one of the key things about, working with a blindness organization like Outlook Enrichment is that we try to help you figure out how to not hold yourself back, because there is no reason to hold yourself back. You just have to maybe work with somebody to learn how to move forward, with your blindness journey.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any misconceptions that people have regarding support group and what it is and that sort of thing?
I think some people may feel like the support group is just it's a stuffy meeting where everybody's sitting there crying and feeling sad and crying and moaning about their vision loss, and it's not. Sure, blindness is usually we talk about 60% of the time, but other times we just sit there and chat and share. And we were discussing this last night. The support group meeting, we're all just normal people coming to these meetings. Yes, it's a vision loss support group, but it doesn't always have to be around blindness. It could just be about our lives and networking with each other and sharing with each other. Let's just keep communicating and unloading our, what's going on, whether it's our health or our finances or whatever it might be. It's not just us sharing our woes about our vision loss. And certainly that can happen, because going through your blindness or losing your vision, I should say, you can certainly have those difficult times, especially if you've been sighted, for most of your life. It can be very difficult. And I'm rambling.
No, you're fine, actually.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Why do you believe that support group is so important for Outlook Enrichment's offerings, training offerings and that sort of thing? Why should we even continue having it?
I believe it helps build our confidence in ourselves and then with our vision loss. You can learn all the skills you want. You can learn adaptive technology, Braille, cane travel, home management, but without the confidence to keep utilizing those skills, to keep trying to learn those skills, you're not going to get anywhere. Mm-hmm. And the peer support group, the nice thing about that is it helps us encourage each other to keep moving forward, to keep trying. I may have a client come into the support group and say, "Oh, I had a really bad Braille lesson. I just can't quite keep the Braille characters in my head. I'm having trouble remembering." And then you might have another person in the group say, "Well, this is what I did," or, "Oh, just keep trying. Maybe, try this, try that." You get that encouragement with each other. Also, sometimes we'll have group trainings, and several people from support group will go to that together, and they get a chance to hey, let's work together. Let's figure this out together, and get a lot of that encouragement.
I'm sure the group environment in a case like that really makes a difference. So I can believe that.
And usually, if somebody comes in with a problem, there's at least one person that comes up with a solution that they can try. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if the group doesn't come up with something, then Ross usually has some ideas of how maybe the person can handle the situation. So if you have a problem, there's usually an answer. Mm-hmm. Somebody will give you their opinion or an answer to your problem. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many times I've heard there's a couple people in the group that, well, maybe I should try that. Or there's people that write down notes during the meeting, or they're looking up stuff online while the meeting's going on because Ross has made a suggestion or somebody else has made a suggestion that they need to get involved in that.
I do try to have the group as a whole share their ideas first before I just jump in there. I try.
Yeah, you do.
I've been accused of talking too much, but I do try to let others hey, what does everybody else think here? I have some ideas, but I want everybody else to share first.
Sure.
Well, and I will say that you're usually the last one to talk.
Yeah, and and you're talking about solutions to problems. I mean, there's always multiple ways, more than one way to skin a cat,
sure.
or how the expression goes. So there may be 2 or 3 different ideas are thrown out, and the person can try any of those. So
sure, sounds good. Sounds like a very healthy environment to be in.
And the other thing is that especially if an app's involved, Ross probably knows about the app, where the rest of us probably don't.
Makes sense. That could be
because he teaches us stuff. So that's a big help also.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Well, that's great. Ross, to kind of wrap up your portion of this, can you maybe just tell us how we get involved in, if somebody wants to get involved in support group, how do they get in on all this?
Absolutely. So they're welcome to give me a call and send me an email. Best way to reach me is my office phone, which is 531-365-5320. Or my email, rpollpeter@outlooken.org. I'll spell that out. RPOLLPETER @outlooken for Outlook Enrichment.org. I'll throw this out as well. The support groups are typically 2 times a week, Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock and Fridays at 11 o'clock a.m. And then the in-person support group meetings are typically, at this point, Tuesday mornings on the 3rd Thursday of the month, typically, depending on scheduling conflicts.
Mm-hmm. And I assume you send out emails and that sort of
Absolutely, thing? Absolutely, yeah. I have a email list that I will send out reminders and information about the support group, and several times a week, actually. So
awesome. Well, great. Well, good to have you on here. And, of course, you brought a person with you. Tim Green is here with us as well. You've been hearing some from Tim. So we're going to turn our attention to you, Tim. And I want to ask you if you could share with us your journey with vision loss and tell us how you found out about Outlook and found your way here.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Well, I'm an old man, by the way. When I was 42, I had a stroke. And, it was probably a medium stroke, and I recovered fairly quickly, 6 weeks or so, and I was back to work, and they put me on blood thinners. Well, finally, my eye doctor said to me one day when I went into him, I read the chart down with my right eye, 5 lines, and covered up my right eye and couldn't see the E on the big E on the top of the chart with my left eye. So he sent me to an ophthalmologist, which immediately told me that I had macular degeneration. And he said, "You're the youngest patient I've ever had with it." And I was 47 years old. And he said to me, "What are the medications you take?" And I said, "The only medication I take is I take Coumadin once a day." He said, "Well, how much do you take?" And I said, 14 milligrams. And he dropped his pen. And he said, "What's your doctor's name?" And I told him. He called my doctor while I was in his office. And he said, "Your patient is taking way too much blood thinner, and you're causing his vision to disappear." So they talked a little bit. And when he got off the phone, he said, "Stop the blood thinners." And because my eyes were just excessively bleeding in my left eye.
Oh, that's no good.
And so then about a year later, it started doing it in my right eye. Well, come to find out, it's an inherited disease. And on my mom's side of the family, every adult in her family had it. But they didn't get it till they were in their 80s, which is when you're supposed to get it.
Yeah.
And I got it when I was 47. So I've been living with it now for, well, I shouldn't say how long because that'd tell you how old I am, but 24 years. So my wife was sitting there watching TV one day, and there was a mention about Outlook. And of course, she was mad at me anyway because I refused to get a cell phone. I refused to do anything with electronics. And she said, "I have an extra iPad. You're going to Outlook." I mean, I came in here kicking and screaming. Because I wasn't going to be tied to no phone. I wasn't going to be tied to no iPad. And they interviewed me when I got here, and I told them I wasn't going to be tied down to anything electronic. Well, they turned me over to Mickey, and I started coming twice a week. And then when Mickey left, they turned me over to Paulette. And then Paulette left. And I kind of started thinking, well, maybe it's because they're having to train an idiot. And they got tired of it, and they were leaving because of that.
No, it had nothing to do with you.
And then Dennis took over. And then... all I really wanted was the basics anyway. So Dennis trained me for, I don't know what, 2 or 3 more months. And then I kind of quit that part of the training. But that's how I found Outlook. My wife saw a story on TV.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's a hard way to find somebody, but that's how I found you.
Well, that's a good way. I mean, it obviously worked out well. So when you first got here to Outlook, what are some of the first activities and programs and things that you got involved in here at Outlook?
Well, the first thing was the electronics, learn how to use the iPad. But the other activities, I got involved in the golf tournament. The first year I was here, none of us played in the tournament, but they had a clinic for us before the tournament. And I really enjoyed that. But since I've come, I've never missed a bike ride. I really enjoy the bike rides. And I've been to bowling 3 times. I've been to bingo every year since I've joined up with Outlook. And so those are the ones I really enjoy. I was going to try the shooting range, and then I decided no. I ended up shooting myself in the foot. So I didn't do it. But yeah, those are the ones I really enjoy because I used to bowl when I had my eyesight. I bowled in men's leagues. And, of course, I played junior college golf. And when I lost my eyesight, I just quit playing golf. I hung it up for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And finally, when I got involved here again, then I found a guy that was a high school teammate of mine on the golf team in high school, lives here in town. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I'll take you out to play. Well, nice. I don't think he realized how much work it was going to be to tell me where the hole was, how to get me lined up right, then look for my ball and his ball too. But we still play, 2 or 3 times a year. And he's the one that's played in the golf tournament with me the last couple of years. Him and a couple college friends of mine.
Ah, are you going to that this year or not?
I got a wrist problem this year. I don't think I'm going to be playing in it this year.
Ah.
But this will be the first one I've missed since I joined Outlook.
Yeah, I know you've been a regular part of the golf tournament every year.
But, that and my wife's not doing really well right now, so the bike rides are a little sketchy also. But I'm hoping to get back on the bike. I need to get back on the bike.
Well, now you're involved in support group, which is really cool, and that's a new thing for you.
Yeah.
So how did you feel before you joined support group, and how do you feel now after you've been in it for a while? How has it helped you?
Well, I can tell you that after I quit working and retired, there was about 6 or 7 years there where I was kind of hard to live with. I mean, I didn't want to do anything. I just stayed away from people. And it was not, I was not a very nice person, I guess is to say. But it kind of brought me back to reality that to stop throwing the pity party, I guess is the best way to say it.
Sure.
Because there's a whole lot of people out there that are worse predicaments than I am.
Sure.
So that's the main thing it has been doing for me. And that's why I very rarely miss. Because if I can help somebody by suggesting something, then why not? Or at least listen to what other people are going through. So it kind of makes me, I guess, not feel so bad about the situation I'm in, because there's a lot of people out there that are in worse predicaments than I am.
And I'm sure that's true. That's true in life.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
So outside of support group, you kind of talked about this a bit, but outside of support group, are there any other activities that Outlook does that you enjoy being a part of? You've talked about the golfing and the biking.
Yeah, there are some things that they do that I keep thinking I want to try. Like they had an archery thing one year. I thought I might want to try that. They had the rowing thing, the canoes out at Lake Cunningham, which is not very far from my house. And I thought about that one year, and then I backed out of that for some reason. But no, I really enjoy the bowling and the golf, and that's more up my line. That type of thing.
Sure.
I'm not the great outdoorsman. I played football in high school. I played golf in high school. I sung in the choir in high school. I sung in the swing choir, in the boys' glee. I did a lot of those things.
Sure.
But I'm not the guy that gets the tent and the sleeping bag and goes out and camps. I've never been one of those people. I've never been a fisherman. I used to do a little hunting in high school, and once I got married, that kind of went by the wayside too. But yeah.
Well, activities do change over time, but by the same token, you seem like a very busy and involved person.
Oh yeah, I always have something to do.
So I think to wrap this up, Tim, what would you say to someone who might be nervous about joining a support group, which you just did, or reaching out for help in any way? What would you say? How would you encourage someone?
Well, joining the support group, to me, when I first did it, I was a little nervous, but I don't get too nervous about anything. But that first couple of times, I just kind of sat back and listened and didn't say much. And then I think it was Leah called me at home one time because she was having trouble with her kitchen stuff, because we had talked about kitchen stuff the week before on the podcast or in the group meeting, and we talked it out a little bit, and I said to her, well, can your husband help you with some of that? And she said, well, he'll just put it in the wrong place when he puts it back. And I thought she was joking. And that's why she was so frustrated, because that's what was happening. So it's things like that, just simple things. It's daily things that sometimes we struggle with.
Sure.
Like laundry settings on washing machines. And so there is no reason for anybody to be afraid of joining the support group, because I don't think we have any really mean people in the whole group. I mean, I don't know what Ross thinks, but we have some jokers,
Yes.
but we don't have anybody that's mean.
Well, and I'll jump in too, where I feel like with the support group, I think some honest friendships have developed through this. We've had clients, share each other's phone numbers, and they speak, outside the group, one-on-one with each other, like Tim just mentioned. Or they've even gotten together and had coffee together, and got a chance to get out in the community together, gone shopping together, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And they just had opportunities for that. They made their own opportunities, I should say. This is stuff outside of Outlook. They took the initiative to say, let's get together, let's talk, and share with each other. And I think that's great. I encourage that too, because I want them to develop those relationships. That helped me when I was going through my vision loss. I mean, I'm still going through my vision loss now, but back when I was struggling with my vision loss, having those friendships, even if it was just while I was going through training, that's fine. It was great when we had, opportunities to go out for dinner or get a beer, and that really helped.
Yeah, I'm sure the fellowship is great in situations like this.
The other thing that I forgot to mention was the white cane days are kind of cool too. Because like the last one, I'm sitting there at the table and I'm talking to Holly, and all of a sudden the person that sits down next to me on the other side, I couldn't really tell who it was, but I heard his voice. And it was Robert Newman.
Oh.
And when I first lost my eyesight, he was the guy that got me back to work. He worked for the commission.
Oh, sure.
And then once he got me back to work, I never had contact with him again, ever. Didn't have to, because my job went really well. The reintroducing me with the machine and stuff so I could do my job went really well. And so, I hadn't seen the guy for 23 years, but I still recognized his voice. And so, those white cane things are kind of cool too.
Sure.
Because you think, and that's where I met your running buddy out here, Isaac.
Oh, Isaac. I was like, who?
Yeah, Isaac.
Oh, the guy I work with.
Yeah.
That guy.
That guy, yeah. Okay, we don't talk about him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's
so we don't talk
right.
about him.
I understand.
Isaac Rowe.
I understand.
Yeah, adaptive technology instructor.
But yeah, I met him at the white cane thing.
Yeah, the White Cane Day, the celebration he's talking about is typically happens in October. We usually meet at some restaurant here in the Omaha area, or we could just, this last one we took over Fernando's there on 76th and Pacific, and there was probably 50 of us, 50 blind and low vision people there, just taking over the whole restaurant. So, so it was, it was good that, a lot of people we've probably not seen face to face for quite some time.
Yeah.
It was good.
It wasn't just Outlook people. It was people in the blind community.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it's great. It's always great to get together in whatever form that takes, I would say. So, Well, I want to thank both of you for taking time out of your busy days, and I know they're busy for both of you in different ways, but certainly want to thank you for being here with us today and sharing some of those insights and thoughts, and again, a little more togetherness in a different way right here on the podcast. So we appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Any final words that you wanted to say before I let you go?
I do. When you're losing your vision, like I said before, you feel isolated, but you're not alone. There are others out there, and if you want to reach out to us, please, reach to us through the contact information I shared earlier, and we can get you connected with other blind people, and that way you don't have to feel alone anymore.
Well, again, thanks to both of you. We'll let you get on with your day here. Well, folks, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this edition of Outlook on Air, but we certainly hope you've enjoyed the program. We hope to see you back here again for another edition of Outlook on Air. And if you'd like more information about Outlook Enrichment, or anything Outlook for that matter, make sure you visit our website at www.outlooken.org. That's www.outlooken.org. Or you can always call us for more information or to schedule any kind of an appointment at area code 531-365-5051. That's area code 531-365-5051. And don't forget to subscribe to our monthly newsletter so that you can find out when the next podcast is available. And we hope to see you then on the next edition of Outlook on Air.